This is a continuation of the Christmas Chaos Draft video, where I'm going to use some of the pieces we pulled to construct an advanced format deck. There are a few self-imposed rules on deck construction. 1. I must use at least 15 cards from the draft pool, with those cards influencing the direction of the deck. It is important to not just slot a few new cards into an existing deck shell, because that is not in the spirit of the challenge. 2. I cannot use more than 10 staple cards, with staple referring to cards which are generally good in most decks. 3. The extra deck and side deck can be composed of anything I want, but I want to make the disclaimer that I do not have any Link or Xyz monsters, and just a few synchro monsters. 4. This challenge got a lot easier with the announcement of Master Rule 5, and will be built with the ability to special summon multiple extra deck monsters without Link monsters in mind. Finally, 5. If a card in the deck gets banned, even if it is from the draft pool, I can replace it with anything I want. Whew, a lot of stipulations. But the goal is to balance fun and competitive viability. Now here's a recap of what I pulled last time, color-coded by card type. I just want to point out that the convention of archetypes means that there are all sorts of stranded cards which cannot really be used in isolation. I do concede that this is most unconventional. Some may even say the practice is chaotic, but variety is the spice of life. Let's color code based on playability. Dark green is excellent and dark red is totally unplayable. Rainbow Karibo is obviously the best card in the pool, and Time Star Magician is the worst. Literally unplayable since I cannot summon it. Now, on to deck construction. I think the first step in deck construction is to figure out what is your win condition. We didn't pull an Exodia piece or Final Countdown, nor a mill tool, so our path to victory is reducing the opponent's life points to 0. Without any burn cards, we will be accomplishing this through battle damage. The pool is loaded with synchro monsters and support, so I am going to build an aggressive synchro deck. Rainbow Karibo is the best card I pulled, and I am excited to play it. White Wing Magician and Owl Lumirage are decent tuner monsters. To go along with the tuner monsters, we have the easy special summons of Overlay Booster, Speedroid Menko, and Vice Dragon. Standoff is funny and maybe useful, and I might be including it mostly out of curiosity. Different Dimension Encounter is included to help recycle monsters which are banished. Forbidden Apocrypha is a conditional mass removal trap. Twilight Ninja Shingetsu and Twilight Ninja Nichiren the Tuning are the start of a mini ninja engine. Synchron Resonator and the related search card, Resonator Call, push the deck to include more resonators. Finally, Reject Reborn is the reason why I am so excited to be playing a synchro deck in the first place. In the extra deck, all 4 of the synchro monsters that I pulled are immediately included. Now, to consider some of the directions we can flesh out the deck with cards from my collection. I am completing the Ninja Engine with another Shingetsu, a White Ninja, and a Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke. I want to point out that the ninja pool I am pulling from is not the deepest. I only have 1 Resonator to add to the deck, but 1 Flare Resonator is better than nothing. I did pull Supercharge and a couple Speedroids, but I am not using Ohaji Kid because I literally have no win synchro monsters. There are not enough targets to consistently play double yo-yo either. Supercharge is draw power, and draw power is win power, but the only halfway decent roids I have are Jetroid and Drillroid, so not worth the super conditional +1. Nothing really sticks out in the pool, although Wonder Balloons might be one of the worst cards I have ever seen. Adding to the tuner lineup are 2 Plague Spreader Zombie, and a tech card of 1 Gale the Whirlwind, since it is a decent level 3 dark attribute tuner, even without the rest of the Black Feather Brood. I am adding a Black Feather Dragon in the extra deck though, in case I happen to run into a burn deck. To complement the tuners, 2 Quillbolt Hedgehog and a Weeping Idol for swarming. Dark Grepher is for setup and swarming, and if you haven't guessed it yet, there are some heavy hitters in the main deck. 2 Dark Armed Dragon and a Blackluster Soldier Envoy the Beginning, since the deck contains so many light and dark monsters. To complement the Banish theme, And to add recursion, there's a copy of Burial from the Different Dimension. I genuinely considered adding Miracle Dig for more banished to graveyard recursion, but eventually decided against it. Burial might be taking us into staple territory, so let's go over those. I added another Burial, although this inclusion more foolish. Yet we can always reborn a monster, but with that line of reasoning, card destruction does not seem to be much of a penalty. There are always reinforcements of the army, even those fusion summoned instantly. With all jokes aside, our instant fusion targets are Dark Balta the Terrible, Guilt of the D-Knight, Darkfire Dragon, Fusionist, and Thousand Eyes Restrict. My dog took a couple bites out of the last one. To round out the main deck, I opted for a bit of monster removal. And let's go over my options real quick. Zone Eater is too strong to even consider. DD Warrior Lady is non-targeting, non-destruction single target removal, so a strong contender. Exiled Force is 1-for-1 removal without having to battle. Bullblader is non-targeting destruction, but without battle damage. There might be a place set in the sideboard. Onto mass destruction, we have Dark Dust Spirit, Lightning Vortex, Elemental Burst, Needle Sealing, Pineapple Blast, Earthshaker, Special Hurricane, Jalgin the Spiritualist, and Torrential Tribute. Ultimately, I chose none of those, and instead went with Raigeki and Dark Hole. Can't beat the classics. In the extra deck, we have the 4 synchros we pulled, Black Rose Dragon for more mass removal, Bryanok for bounce, Flamevelt Urukizas, and 2 copies of Gaia Force of the Earth as beater monsters. Giganticastle is keyword big, X-Saber Wayne for swarming, X-Saber Urbellum for hand disruption, I guess, and finally Colossal Fighter, since we have so many different warrior monsters to bring back. Those keen mathematicians out there in the audience surely realize that there are only 36 main deck cards, and I have been saving the best for last. 3 copies of Garbage Ogre and 2 copies of Garbage Lord. Since my deck is not the strongest, I feel like these cards fit the theme exceptionally well. You know that part in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Rulebook that says your deck is unique, and no one else is ever going to play something just like it? I feel like that statement rings truest now. To give me more of a fighting chance, I am going to be constructing a side deck teched out to all get out next time. But for the moment, I am happy how the challenge has turned out. Now, it only needs a name. Perfect.